because their headlights were out. The plate on the car didn't match the paperwork in the car with the VIN number under the windshield, and the owner of the car was in the passenger seat, and the driver of the car was his cousin. I can arrest the driver, but I can't arrest the passenger, even though the passenger is the one that owns the car. So I hook up the driver and put him in the back of my cruiser. What am I going to do with the passenger? Because I got to tow the car. Well, shit. He was in the car with the guy. I'll just put him in the back with the guy in the back of the cruiser. And there was nobody to back me up that night. We didn't have portable radios, nothing. I'm going to cut this to the chase. A detective comes up, backs me up, says, "What's the problem?" I said, "Well," they say, and I don't even mind saying his name. I said, because his name is stuck with me for 43 years. I said, "The dispatcher says there's a possible want for James Edward Carpenter, 5'7", 145 pounds. I said, "Now he's telling me he's James Edward Carpenter, but I don't know how tall he is and I don't know how much he weighs." Detective says, "Well, let's take him out of the car and look at him." So we take the person who's not under arrest out of the car to look at him. And we walk up to the back of his car, which is right in front of my car. And the detective asked him, because he owns the car, "You don't mind if we look in the trunk, do you?" He says, "No, go ahead." Now, mind you, he was in the back seat when James Edward Carpenter, 5'7", 145 pounds, came over the radio. So Detective Robert McCann says, "Peruta, go up and get the keys out of the ignition." So I go up to get the keys out of the ignition, and all I can hear is Bob McCann saying, "That's our guy, he's running." I'm an ex-Marine. I taught small arms at the United States Naval Academy in the summer of 1969. I hit what I aim at. Took out my service revolver, and I had a beautiful sight picture between James Edward Carpenter's shoulder blades. And I pulled it back and said, I don't know what he's wanted for. But at the time, Connecticut law was this: a police officer has the right to use reasonable physical force up to and including deadly physical force to effect the arrest of a fleeing felon or protect yourself or a third party from expected bodily harm. The law gave me the right to shoot James Edward Carpenter. I did not. That incident on that night cost me my job as a policeman. My, how times have changed. I suffer watching the video coming